Now it should be coming through A-OK. Look at that. See, caught the mute button pretty quick. Could have been quicker, but it is what it is. I know I'm muted. I fixed it already, Elizabeth. Thank you. I got it quick. What's everybody been up to? I know I haven't been here very much lately. It's because I've been working a lot. I've been doing a lot of films. A lot of productions have needed me. It's been a weird season, though, I gotta say, because it's been like there'll be nothing, and then there will be everybody and the mother wants to do something. So it's been a very unusual season. So I've had to keep myself occupied and uh, not employed, but doing other means of monetary gain that isn't, trudging through YouTube nonsense. Simply because, man, I enjoy chatting with you folks. I enjoy getting on here and entertaining, and I enjoy the political commentary. But it's been so fucking much lately. It's insane with everything that's been going on. I do want to say one thing. I am thoroughly enjoying, and this is not politically motivated at all, but I am thoroughly enjoying the absolute like meltdown Yankees fans are having everywhere over the game against the Rangers yesterday. Um, Not only because I'm a Rangers fan, I like when the Rangers beat the Yankees, but simply because it seems as if everybody has forgotten that Jock Peterson is still Jock Peterson, even though he's having a terrible year. Um, really says, let's get this demonetized. Okay, do what you got to do, buddy. Uh, but it's just hilarious watching the absolute meltdown that Yankees fans are having. It's just funny to me. Sports ball, says Clyde Wills. Yes, sports ball. Again, I don't get too invested into sports simply because I just don't have time for it. And at the end of the day, what happens when the Rangers won the World Series 2 years ago? What did that do for me? What did that get me as a Rangers fan? It got me the ability to purchase a hat that said World Series on it. They didn't give it to me. I had to buy it. I still give my money for it. So, you know, um, there you go. So when people talk, well, okay, I don't, not anymore, man. I just don't have the energy to get that invested. It's great when they win, and when they lose, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. There's the next one. Um, Call me a fair weather fan all you want. I don't give a shit. I just don't have time to really get invested into sports. But again, when you've got the Yankees that are just, we're the Yankees. We're the Yankees. We're 27 World Series that happened in the 50s or before, and it's just hilarious. Like I said, it's fun. It's fun watching the world's worst fans just lose it. Just absolutely get, like meltdown mode. They're having a terrible run right now, the Yankees are, and I'm here for it. I appreciate that. Um, and it's always fun when when Jock Peterson beats you. And I know he's not the one who hit the game winning home run, but still. Yeah. What's my thought on dangerous animals? Dangerous animals is in like snakes that can bite you and kill you. Most teams are heartbreakers. Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of a team long enough, they're going to break your heart at least once. I don't care who you are. It just doesn't matter. Um, you know, Being a Rangers fan, I can attest to this. 2011 was a very difficult year for Rangers fans, being so close to winning the World Series for the first time. 2023 helped like alleviate that a little bit, but it still stings a little bit. It's like, oh man, golly, you won that game twice and then you lost it 3 times. Hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah. So what's going on here in Texas? Jesus Christ, man, these fucking. When I say this political nonsense is hard to keep up with, it is hard to keep up with. We have one of the worst. Oh yeah, you like the stormtrooper here? He's pretty cool. He likes to hang out on the mic. Um, Keeps me company with you guys. I just have to look and see that he's like, hey, back on track, which is now. The new Shark movie. I haven't seen the new Shark movie. Haven't seen it. I did see one, and I'll get back to that because I feel like I'm just going like, pa-pew, pa-pew, pa-pew. We're here in the state of Texas. We have one of the most egregious, yes, squirrel. We have one of the most egregious attempts to gerrymander the state. And I think even if it happens, even if this map redistricting happens, I don't think it's going to quite accomplish what the GOP wants it to accomplish. On paper, it does, and it's absolutely atrocious. Right? There's no reason why this state is already ridiculously gerrymandered, but there's no reason for them to redraw these districts in the way that they're trying to do it. They're simply trying to erase Democratic votes. And don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these people that think that the Democratic Party hasn't done it in other states as well. But when you go back and look at all of the states that are the most gerrymandered, the ones that are going to be the most egregiously gerrymandered, are going to be Republican states. They just are. It just is. And they do that because more densely populated areas are going to swing more blue than your rural areas. It just is what it is. In order to kind of balance out those numbers, they want to go back and like redraw things so they can, dilute those blue votes. Now, again, it does happen in other states. Like Illinois has done it, California has done it, Maryland has done it. It just happens, right? Not saying that blue states are not guilty of it. California says will automatically redraw their boundaries if Texas gerrymanders theirs. Yeah, and that's the thing. If California hard gerrymanders the way that Texas hard gerrymanders, it's absolutely going to have the opposite effect of what Texas wants to happen. Yes, they'll lose the 13 or 16 whatever seats it is in the House, but California will make up for that. I think they'll gain 23, and it's just like Texas. I don't think you understand. This is what's going to happen. And now we've got, the Cheeto in chief talking about how we're going to have the FBI help enforce the absolutely bullshit fucking arrest warrants put out by Governor Abbott. We're going to arrest you because you fled the state. Hey, Ken Paxton, what happened? What happened when you were needed? Hey, GOP, what happened when we wanted to vote on the Epstein files being released? Oh, by the way, that's something else that's kind of funny to me. I know I'm way behind in all this stuff, YouTube speaking, and we're not supposed to say that. We're not supposed to say the e-files. We're going to have to call them e-files, right? We're going to talk about taxes and e-files because apparently if you say the other one, which I've already done, really gets what he wants and whatever. Vote Trump. The rest of the world are having a right laugh. Oh, gosh. The way ICE is behaving is scaring the shit out of Europeans, especially those who have passing knowledge of the 20th century history. Yeah, it is something to be said when... Here's the thing. If you don't want me to call you a fascist, don't act and do what fascists do. Just don't. And I won't call you fascist. When you blatantly target a group of people based on, we're going to say skin color. It's not a look. ICE deportations disproportionately are affecting the Latin communities far more than anyone else, right? And don't give me this nonsense. It's all bullshit, right? If we're talking about, well, we only want to take out the people who are criminals, well, that's not happening because last I checked, criminals don't go to schools and elementary. Criminals also don't show up to their hearings for their asylum hearings or their citizenship or their visa or any of that. They don't do that. They don't show up to court in order to do the things the right way. It's just the criminals don't do that. Sandy D says, come back here. Oh my God, I was just thinking today I haven't seen the plot hole and wonder what he's up to. And tonight you appear. I promise to use my power for good. Well, yes, I've been, like I said, I've been busy doing a lot of things, working on a few films. I don't know if I have anything. Maybe I do. Maybe I have a couple of things that are available that I can show you. Let me see when I can. Some of the things, unfortunately, I can't talk about because NDAs and whatnot. Excuse me. But other things that I've done, I can absolutely show you because I'm the producer on it and I can do it like I want. Mm-hmm. It's fun when that happens. Let me see here. Do we have... That's art. I don't want art. Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about location pics. How come we don't have any fucking BTS? I'm going to have to get on these people. YouTube is a joke with this stuff. Yeah, here's the thing. And I understand why first and foremost, we have to understand that YouTube does not have to follow quote First Amendment. Not they just don't, because this is a private, or not a private platform, but this is a platform not owned and operated by the government. So they're allowed to have their own terms of service and dictate what they will and will not allow on their servers. That just is what it is. So when people say, well, it's my First Amendment right to come on here and say whatever I want, yes, but it's not YouTube's responsibility to enforce that. YouTube has a right to determine that they don't want that talk or those ideas or whatever it is. We don't want that on our platform. It's well within YouTube's right. And here's the thing. Before we start saying, well, YouTube is just trying to do the moral thing. No, they're not. They're trying to do the thing that gets them the most advertising dollars, because that's all it cares about. Like when Don Imus said what he said about nappy-headed hose, he was canceled because advertisers pulled out, not because of what he said. Advertisers pulled out because of what he said, but at the end of the day, had advertisers not pulled out, NBC, MSNBC, they wouldn't have given a shit. They would have said, well, don't do that again. But that's what happens when they pull the money. That's where you're going to get these terms of service. You're going to get these people getting removed, whatever. That's at the end of that's what we're talking about. Why YouTube is based in the U.S. If they want favorable tax rates, they have to keep the right people happy. That's true too. Got to say, I do love the Stormtrooper. He's having a good time. He's alive and well. Holding this microphone cable in place. That's what we're saying. He's got a very important job to do, and it's one that took him off the Death Star, so he's not going to be blown up on the Death Star. So there you go. Yeah, I don't have. This makes me angry. Hey, Prosecco Rose. Johnny been busy growing his beard. Kind of. I just haven't really trimmed it lately because I haven't needed to. I had to keep it for one film, and then after that, I just didn't. What is this? Okay. Oh, hey, BTS stuff. I wonder if there's anything worth showing. I don't know. There's some things I can't show because we don't want to give too much away with what's going on. So I've been working on a horror anthology just to kind of catch everybody up really quick. My company, Insomniac Films, is putting together this anthology. We're producing it. And we've shot 2 of the films that are going to be included in this anthology. We have 4 more along with the piece that I'm directing. Hopefully, we wanted to get it done before August 19th so we could submit to Screenfest this year. We didn't make that deadline. It was just too ambitious of a deadline because we didn't start until beginning of June. A film requiring a beard. Johnny is playing a wizard. Something like that. I really do need to trim up though, because it's getting a little scraggly and out of sorts, but whatever. What's up, Skit Crasher? Good to see you. So yeah, we've got that. That's like the big project that's kind of got a lot of moving parts and pieces. And we shot 2 films. Both of them are in post right now. We have 4 more to go. And that's going to be super fun. I'll probably do like a special screening for everybody who's in the Discord and a member of whatever. I'm playing a tall dwarf, more like a short mountain troll, because I think 6 foot is short for a mountain troll, right? Correct me. I could be wrong. Who knows? Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking for something that's kind of cool that I can show. That I don't know if I've shown any of this stuff from these guys here. I don't remember. I could be wrong. Let me go back to this. We also have Lethal Action, which is another short that we've been working on that, surprisingly enough, co-stars Giovanni Cruz, who was recently in the new Superman film. She had a smaller role, but still in the Superman film, which I think is pretty fucking cool. That's her 3rd James Gunn film. And she had hinted to us that she was in an upcoming movie, a feature that big time, whatever. She had hinted to us, and I kind of had a sneaking suspicion that it was going to be the Superman film, and it was. Gosh. Okay. All right. Golly, I'm all over the place. I don't know if I've shown this one before. Let me see here. I don't think I have. I'm going to show it to you anyways. If you guys have seen it, you've seen it. And just tell me if you have. Yeah, we'll do that. Boom, boom, boom. Wait a minute. Wait a second. I don't like what's going on here. All right. So this is a still from the blind date segment in the upcoming horror anthology. Looks really good. This is Katie Dallas. She has a show. I can't remember what it is. I can't remember what it is. I'm terrible. But she's a very active working actress. She has a bunch of credits to her name. Doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to flex on anybody because who gives a shit. She was very much fun to work with. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say about that. So we've shot that one. That one's called Blind Date, and that one's about a blind date, obviously, that goes awry. I won't tell you how it goes awry, but it does go awry. There's another film that we shot that was called, what is this one called? It's called The Catalyst. I wish I had something to show you from The Catalyst because this one was bonkers. This one was like a hellscape type thing where, not necessarily a warped reality, but a warped reality. Like our main character is going through like this crazy just hellscape, for lack of a better term. And, I thought it was fun. It was a lot of blood and guts in this one, which I don't know how much of that I can show on good old YouTube without them losing their shit, but it is what it is. So that one was a whole lot of fun to do. We have, let's see here. How many more do we have? We have another one that's called The Morning Star. That one's going to be kind of fun too, simply because it's allowing us to play with a movie monster. And maybe Jorg has put up, he has not. He just has the script. Damn it. I was hoping he put up the concept art for the villain in there. Hey, what's up, Sean? Says, well, Jan, I guess you did go live. I did. I said I was going to this time. I know I was going to go live like a couple of weeks ago, but then power went out or something. Something happened where I couldn't. I think the power went out. It was something weird. I can't remember. I don't remember. Anyway, so York is called The Morning Star. That one's going to be a lot of fun because it allows us to play with a movie monster, and I love movie monsters. They're just fun. Then we have another film that is called Isabella, which is a story about a woman who is dealing with somebody who is stalking her via her television. And that one, the concept, the script behind it is good. It's getting better. It's being rewritten to kind of introduce a little bit more like thriller horror type stuff. So I'm looking forward to that one as well. And then there's another one. No, that's not it. There's another film that we're looking at. Have to pay your electricity bill. I do pay it every month. What's up, Mrs. Tom? Good to see you. I do pay the electricity bill, but I think somebody hit a power pole. I live like really close to the distribution center, and we get weird flickers all the time when it storms. Often lose power simply because like it just, hey, we're gonna lightning bolts here because we have big tall. Just is what it is. Mrs. Schrodinger's cat in the house. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Say hi to Mrs. Mama Schrodinger's cat. Mama Mrs. Schrodinger's cat. However that works, say hi to your mom for me. And that sounds terrible, but you know what I mean. She knows what I mean. That's not bad. I get it. We have another one that is going to be. We've talked about doing this other one for quite some time. It's kind of like an Evil Dead meets Memento thing where it's told backwards. And the script is really strong. I like it a lot. And then my portion, which is like the connective tissue, Texas has not figured out electricity. That is 100% true. Texas did the dumbest thing they could do and pull themselves off the national grid. And it was just, my goodness. Oh, flickering power supply. That's probably the electric chairs being put to use. I know. It's just, we like really says, we just have not figured out electricity yet. I don't get it. I do get it. Pulling yourselves off. What's up, Arian Rod? Good to see you. Says, hey, at the bottle. Good to see you. Yeah. And it's stupid hot. It is so fucking hot here. I don't like this state. I don't like living in Texas. I don't. This is very hot, very warm. Prosecco Rose says, any hot sauce for a hot day? It's all packed, not packed, but it's all put away in the cupboard back there. I have not brought any out. I thought about doing some hot sauce, but you know, what's up, Kelly Fitzpatrick? Sean Michael Beasley says, Texas hasn't figured out a lot of things. Yeah, that's true. Texas has not figured out a lot of things, but you know, it is what it is. And we are just dealing with it. Um, mm. So, Anthology, I am so all over the place. I get it. I haven't had enough water for today. That's the problem. Yeah, it's been interesting. Yesterday, I was doing Mrs. Schrodinger's cat. Oh, gosh. I got to put this one up there. It says, Mom said hello, and she said she misses your sexy ass. Oh, no. Oh, no. Prosecco Rose says, come over to the West Coast. The beach has been great. I love California. I if I could afford it, I would live there, but I can't because it's stupid expensive. It was so we were there, and I've told you guys this already, but we were there, last October for Screamfest, and just taking an Uber from my cousin's house in Baldwin Park to Hollywood was so ridiculously expensive. I think it was like 65 to 80 bucks, give or take, for one way. That was insane. And people who live in California or Los Angeles know that from Baldwin Park to to Hollywood is not that far. It just isn't. Artie's corporate fiction has moved back to Texas. He just enjoys the heat so much, I guess. I don't like the heat. Very hot here in southern Nevada, says Kelly Fitz. I imagine it is as well. I don't, but it's a dry heat, so they say. Whatever the fuck that means. Hot, hot. It just is. She just fell in love with you, but she's not doing good. You can say what it is. Well, here's the thing. I don't like what you and your mother are going through right now, your family specifically, because it's a terrible situation and I hope things get better. And if she wants to look at me and say sexy ass, you can do it. Look, I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. Mrs. Tom says, I can't even walk on the pool deck. It's so hot. Yeah, it's very hot. Wages are good there, kind of like New York. Expensive to live, but wages try and keep up. North Carolina's garbage. I'd rather be back in New York. Artie loves to have his heart broken by the Cowboys, says really. Yeah, I don't know if what the Cowboys are going to do this year. So Kelly Fitzpatrick says dry heat is a bullshit story. Hot equals hot. And here's one thing I'll say about it, because I've been in the desert in Arizona when it was ridiculously hot. It's a little different. The problem with Arizona heat, if you're not used to Arizona heat, is you don't know it's kicking your ass until your ass is already kicked. You recognize that it's hot, right? But you don't realize how drained and burned you are until it's boom, it's there. Like Texas heat, because it's so fucking muggy and humid. Like you walk out and it's hard to breathe and it's just draining on you. And and you can feel your skin just melting because the water, and it just is what it is. You're getting burned. In Nevada, I didn't notice it until after it happened. I was like, holy shit, I got yeah, it is. So yes, hot is hot, but it is a little bit different when it's dry heat. And again, it's only because you don't know that you're melting. Again, in Arizona and Las Vegas and whatnot, whenever I would step out into the shade, you could feel it getting cooler, even if it's only 10 degrees, 5 degrees. In Texas, it doesn't matter where you stand. It's just hot. You be in the shade and you might get like a degree. And if anybody here can tell the difference between 110 and 111, then you're a better person than I am. Sean says, yeah, Texas heat suck. It does. It's not fun. It's not a fun heat. And we really, we only have hot here in Texas. It gets cold every now and again, but for like a week, 2 weeks, October is relatively nice. November is relatively nice. December is relatively nice. January gets cold. February could be cold, but that's it. I mean, really, I think I started running the air conditioner here, which I'm, delighted to have like the end of April, beginning of May, give or take, and I haven't stopped. This is just how hot it is. And, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just hot. Hmm. And the bitch of it is like we've been working. It's going to rain. It's supposed to rain, and it'll rain, right? It's like when you're in the sauna and the big hot cold, you just go throw water on it. Fucking, it makes it so much worse. Makes it so much worse. Mrs. Thompson's long time no see. It's been a minute. It has. I think it was like a month ago. I think I did something. Excuse me. I just been busy. I miss all of you guys. Really, I do. I've been doing the Brainy Beaver stuff. We do that over in his channel. Trying to do something next Thursday. But this is his busy season too, being in HVAC, and they have very similar weather that we in where he lives is where I live. So when the summertime is going, he's up in attics and out in the sun and whatnot. So he's been very much active as I have. So we both like our schedules just get busy at the same time, and they cool off right around the same time. Like I've got 3 features that are in talks that will take me to the East Coast, Virginia, North Carolina, and Florida, probably for the rest of the year with breaks in between, which I really need. I hope we get those gigs. One budget has been approved. We're just waiting on the escrow and whatnot. Once that happens, and contracts will be sent out, and then boom, 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 be fun. And the other one, they're still in the process of negotiating the terms of the deal. But the only thing that kind of gives me like a little bit of I don't want to say hope. That's not what I'm looking for. A little bit of like security ish, I guess, is the fact that two of the three films are done by the same company, the same production company. So that's where if one goes, the other one's most likely going to go as well. And then the third that shoots in September, that one's already been contracted. So that one's good to go. But again, it's like a 7 or 10 day. Which coast in Florida? Looking like Tampa Bay. I think that's what they said, but they have not locked in locations. Keep me in mind for either. Yeah, absolutely. As soon as I get those dates, I'll let everybody know via Discord, because those are going to be fun. Those are going to be fun. I love traveling for work, especially when it takes me to places where you guys are at, so I can kind of do some meet and greets while I'm on a day off or something. Strippers? What are you talking about? What do you mean strippers? I don't know anything about strippers. I don't go to those places. It's not fun. It's a lot of money to go to a strip joint, and I would rather use my money on something different, like my children or a new piece of gear, something. Not strippers. Golly. When the last time I went to a gentleman's club, we'll call it, I think I was in my 20s, so it's been a long time. My wife and I, my ex-wife and I went to one for, I think, for her birthday. Oh, Tampa is stripper capital. I did not know that. I had no idea. Interesting. Interesting. Does that mean if I meet up with some of you guys in Tampa, then I'm going to be taken to some of these? That's like going to be your meetups of choice. Please say no, because I just don't particularly care for them. Like I said, it's really expensive. No dollar tips. Oh no! See, that's another thing. It was last time I went. It was $5 just to get in, and 20. This was about 45. Yes, I am 65 years old, Sean. Thank you. If I'm 65, but you're older, that means you're at least 70. So there you go. Uno reverse, bitch. Fuck. Yeah, it was what, $5 to get in, and then if you wanted a Budweiser, a domestic beer, 5.25 or some shit like that. So just to get in, to have one drink, you already spent $10 and nothing. Sean says, I feel attacked. Hey, you started. Don't throw stones living in a glass house, sir. What's up, Mr. Andrat? Tampa is a stripper capital. Interesting. Hmm. Mrs. Tom, are you in Florida? Is that you don't have to tell me exactly where, but if you're in Florida, that'd be interesting. I'm kind of curious to know some of the places that I should go on a day off. I was told to go to Naples, Florida, and I can't remember where else. There was another place they were talking about when I was on that side of town. Rachel's Steakhouse. I don't know. You're on the East Coast, so you're on the other side. You're like the Miami area. That's cool. I would have loved to go to Miami because I'm a Dolphins fan. I would love to go to, you know, I don't even know what it's called. Is it called Sun Life? I can't remember. But it would be fun. That would be fun. Being a Dolphins fan, I just look. It's so easy being a Dolphins fan because usually my football season's over by week 3, week 4, so I don't have to worry about it. So there you go. Naples is beautiful. I'm making a policy to avoid Florida. Lots of crazy there, says Sandy D. You're the second person that have told me that, Sandy. Sean was the first. So maybe there's something true. Maybe there's something true about that. Lived in Palm Beach, South Florida isn't great. West Coast is better. My family went to Destin. I couldn't go because I had to work. But I heard Destin was nice. I just don't know if I'm going to go to Florida. I want to make sure. I would love to go to the eastern portion of Florida so I can see the Atlantic Ocean because the Gulf of Mexico, yes, Gulf of Mexico, isn't exactly my cup of tea. It's kind of a stinky. I don't like it. I don't like it. Carry papers with you in Florida, says Kelly Fitzpatrick. Well, yeah, I don't. I have an ID. The Alberta Rockies are the place to see. I want to go to Canada. Oh, that's another thing. I have finally put in my application for my passport, so I should have that, within like 6 to 8 weeks, which is great. I have been putting it off for so many years. I've been offered jobs. Hey, this shoot is going to happen in UK somewhere, in Germany, Frankfurt, or some shit like that, and hey, we got it. I don't have my passport, and I just don't really feel like getting it. And I mean, I did. It wasn't that I didn't feel like getting it. I was telling them I don't have my passport. I would take a minute, and then they would just find somebody who did have a passport. That's why I would lose out on those jobs. And I kept telling myself, well, that was a one-off. And then it happened again. I was like, okay, all right, this is something I really need to kind of consider. And then after the third or fourth time, I said, let's go ahead and do it. Let me go and get my passport. And then I thought, well, what's going to happen is I'm going to get my passport, and those jobs won't come my way. So I'll just spend the 160 or whatever it is, like 165, I think is what it was, to get the passport with the fees and all that shit. $180, I think, after like the photo and all that other nonsense. But yeah, I was like, well, I'll never get another job that way again. But it's a 10-year ID that's good over the world. So it's not going to be a waste of time. Plus, it'll actually give me the ability to travel overseas for, just for fun. I like to go see Ireland and a couple places, but yeah, it's worth it. Yeah. It's good to be ready to escape, says really. I think so as well. Not that big a deal getting up here, getting in up here, getting back could be dicey. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, it's good for years. And so I just went and did it because, again, at the end of the day, regardless of whether I get another job overseas, a job offer overseas or not, it's good to have it just to have it. I mean, it's a good thing to have. The Netherlands, I would love to go to the Netherlands. There's very few places overseas that I wouldn't want to go. Even some of the places that are not the most desirable, some of the more, some more dangerous places. Like I got a friend that's in Palestine right now. She went to go see what she could do to help out with the efforts dealing with the Palestinian people because she herself is Palestinian. I begged her not to go simply because, of her being Palestinian and what's been going on with people who are helping with the efforts who are not Palestinian, who are getting held up by these other countries and whatnot. At the end of the day, I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. I'm going to get on my soapbox for a minute. because this is my channel. If you don't like it, I don't care. I don't care what your opinion on the Israeli occupation of Gaza is, or let me walk that back. I don't care what your opinion of the conflict that's going on over in in Palestine right now. If you are okay with blocking food to starving children or starving people, you're a piece of shit. Point blank and period. I don't care what your beliefs are. If you're okay with Israel blocking humanitarian aid to people who need food, you're a piece of shit. End of story. She's supposed to come back in the next couple of days. So, yeah, I'll know more. She'd let me know that she was coming back in a couple of days. I think she's coming back tomorrow, actually, or her flight leaves tomorrow. And I hope that everything goes well. I hope she's able to get out of there without incident. Because she's a really good person. She's very sweet, very nice. She's mean to me though. I did get her flight canceled the first time. That's not true. I told her I was going to get her flight canceled because I didn't want her to go, and then something happened and her flight got canceled. And then she was able to get another one later. She was mad at me though. She wouldn't talk to me because when it happened, I found out that she didn't, because she told me that she was leaving a couple of weeks ago. She's like, "Oh, I'm leaving this date and I'm going. Um, I'll see you when I get back." And then I didn't hear from her. I thought, okay, well, be safe, come back in one piece. And then I didn't hear anything from her. And another one of our mutuals was like, "Oh yeah, did you hear Electra's flight got canceled?" I'm like, "Really? I did not hear that." So I texted her. I was like, "Hey, bitch, how come you didn't tell me your flight got canceled?" And I thought you already knew. Thought you got my flight canceled. It was kind of funny because that was a running joke. So, your flight canceled, so you can't go. But and then she figured it out. Sandy D says, "I can't go anywhere anytime soon. I bought a car last week." Fucking hell, man. I had to buy a car a month and 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something give or take. Good Lord. It is vastly different than even when I bought my truck end of 2018, right before COVID and all that stuff. And golly, good night. The price, like what I paid for my car, the car that I have now was almost as much as what I paid for my truck when I bought my truck brand new and bought a used car. As a used car was a year old, less than 10,000 miles. So practically new, but whatever. So yeah, car prices are insane right now. It's insane. I miss paycheck cars. Anyone old? I remember paycheck cars. Yeah, I'm old enough, Sean. A lot of people here are old enough, not to put anybody on blast. Excuse me, but a lot of people here are old enough to remember paycheck cars. First time I could go into a lot and say I want that one. That's cool though, but it's so shit that it happens at the worst possible time because I don't care what the Mandarin Mussolini says. Prices are not going down. They are not getting better. This shit's fucking crazy. Was it Ford? They said they posted what was it? Ford talking about the net loss profit. Let's see. Yeah, let's look this up. I want to make sure we get this right. Well, yeah. So Ford anticipates a full year adjusted EBIT of 6.5 billion to 7.5 billion, which is lower than its initial guidance of 7 billion to 8.5. So, yeah, not as strong as they were hoping, which just means that we're going to pay more money. Prices had dropped below what they were before the tariffs hit, so I had to take advantage. And that's the thing. Buy when you can. That's okay. He's firing everyone that comes out with real data. That's another thing. We're going to have here are the job numbers, sir. Oh, I don't like these. You're fired. I didn't do it. I just gave you the paper. They're so stupid. Going to drive the wheels off my 95 van. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I've got a car that I'm probably going to be buried in because I didn't want to buy another one. I had to. The circumstances being what they are, I had to get another one. I will say though that the car that I'm driving now, I was able to make it to my mother's house in Colorado, and get this, this is true, from my, I guess my garage, which is not exactly my doorstep, but it's, you know, whatever, it's relatively close to my apartment door. But from my garage to my mother's driveway was 666 miles, for what that's worth. But I was able to make it on one tank of gas, which I've never been able to do before. I always had to stop and, you know, refill because, you know, I got a truck and thing got no kind of good gas mileage. I mean, it got decent gas mileage for a truck, but still not enough to get me to and from, or two on one tank of gas. Just didn't work. I was timing the purchase because I know how many years till retirement, and I didn't want to worry about a car payment after. That's actually a really important thing to do. Part of retirement planning would be to make sure you set yourself up to where when you retire, you don't have to worry about, you know, living, cost of living. Like you've accounted for that. And that used to be something that was obtainable for people in their 40s to be able to buy a house, and then within 20 years, because we used to have 15 and 20-year notes. Now, fucking hell, these things are ridiculous. You know, it's insane. But yeah, having your retirement where you can make sure that when you retire, you either have put yourself into enough of a positive position where you can take on another car payment should you need to, or you have a car that, you know, well maintained, etc. It's completely paid for. You don't have to worry about if something does, you know, break or replace, and you know, you're going to have to get transmission service, and the engine's you know, you're going to blow a seal. The longer you drive, these things are going to happen, right? Things are going to have oil changes. Things are going to fall apart. You got to get fixed. This is what it is when you own a mechanical object. So if you put yourself in a position where you don't have to worry about that so much, then you're going to be fine. What's this word retirement? Well, that's a magical place that people in our, like my father's able to be retired. He retired from the military and from the post office. So, you know, and he was very, very smart with his retirement. He was able to get himself in a position where he didn't have to worry a whole lot. He's been driving the same car. I think he bought his car in like 2013 and is still driving that thing because he takes, you know, he's got it paid off, and now he just makes sure it maintains, does routine maintenance, does all the routine maintenance. So is that like the vacation word? No, I think vacation is worse, because vacation is like, well, I'm going to take a break from reality to go enjoy and find out what living life is like. And then I'm going to have to go back to the thing that I don't like doing. I always, when I worked retail, I would put off taking a vacation because I would see what would happen to other managers in retail establishments, or the other like the sister stores or partner stores, whatever. Whenever the managers would go on vacation, they would come back to just mountains of work because upper management never did what they were supposed to do and go in and actually help out with counts or with inventory or with, you know, paperwork or coaching. So when when I was forced to take a week off from my retail store, I ended up going to my mother's and working on her house for her. I came back and I had to fucking do all the shit that, like, everything that I missed for the week that I was gone. I had to do that and all the other, like, the work that I had to go afterwards. So it's like, what's the point of going on vacation if nobody's going to do what they're supposed to do? You know, it's just work. You know, more work that I've got to catch up on. So. Oh gosh, that's why U.S. employers don't like to give PTO. Mm-mm. Now they want to do, what is it? No more sick leave. Or no, they don't want to give. They give you quote unlimited PTO, which isn't the nice thing they say it is. It was a cool trip. Took 5 days. Wait a minute. What is this? What are you talking about, Miss Randette? What are you talking about? Oh, you drove across Canada. That's cool. Took you 5 days? Really? That's it? Only 5 days to go from? Well, did you go like the southern tip to southern tip, or did you go like somewhere in the middle? I imagine it's probably going to be more southern because the more northern you go, it gets pretty fucking cold. Used to before cars were on computers, cost $400 for a new battery, had to take it out. Yeah, holy shit. Tires for my truck were $250 a piece, and that wasn't even a direct replacement. If I wanted a direct replacement, the tires are going to cost like $400 a piece, and they're only getting more expensive. So yeah, I will enjoy the maintenance on this car more than I did the truck. That's for certain. I do still have to go out and find a box truck so I can, for all my gear and whatnot. But yeah, I'd rather, because it's easier for me not having my daily driver also be my equipment, driver. So now when I want to go just to the store and back, I'm not, you know what I mean? You guys get it. You guys are old enough to get it. It's easier that way. Oh man, how you guys been doing? By the way, I know I asked this, but nobody really said anything. And that's fine. You don't have to. Don't tell me if you don't want to tell me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I want to get off here in a minute because it's been an hour ish, almost an hour, and I don't want to occupy too much of your time. And this Ranger game is really thrilling right now. It's a great pitcher's duel. Hopefully, the Rangers will break out of it. Sanity says, "Awesome." Okay. I had to tell my male neighbor which order to hook cables up the other day. Silly boys. What do you mean cable? What do you mean? Oh, for the battery. Yeah. Mr. Andrews says Tangent TV. Yes, it is Tangent TV. It's just been so much that has gone on, and I really here's the thing. I wish I had the time to like really schedule and segment these shows where it's not just me coming on here and rambling off a whole bunch of nonsense that most people don't really care about, which I don't give a shit. Right at the end of the day, I like interacting with you folks. It's more fun. Tony Regime says my band starts rehearsing for our first gig since 2020. That's fucking amazing. Oh, I wonder. I do have something I can share with you. Where is it? So, speaking of bands, this is not a complete and total fucking like squirrel. It is a squirrel moment. Hang on a second. I'm going to share this. You know what? No, I'm not. I'm not going to share this here. That was a bit of. I've been working on new music as well, so I'll just put that out there. That's all I'm going to say. I also miss the days of practicing and going and playing stage shows and whatnot. I haven't done that since like I think 2014. The end of 2014 was the last time I played a live gig. I think 2014. I want to say like September of 2014, give or take. In case you're curious, Carr's name is Remy P. Penrod. Perfect. I love it. It's great. As long as it's not piece of shit. All right, I am going to take off at it. Let's just something you guys have. Look, 10 minutes. Ask away anything you want to ask. Any question, I'll wait. I'm waiting for questions right now. I'll wait. I won't say another word. Sean Michael Beasley says, what makes Teflon stick to the pan? It's a chemical process that involves heat and a chemical binding of Teflon to metal. Yeah. Don't use Teflon, guys. Don't do it. Don't use nonstick. Bert DeFerk says, what did I just tune into? Well, I told people I wasn't going to say anything until somebody asked me a question, and that's what you walked into. I stopped, and then Sean asked me a question, and then you asked me a question. So I've answered both questions. Bert DeFerk. There you go. Really was just rambling of letting everybody know what I've been doing this past, I guess, month, give or take. Teflon is poison. Sandy D says, what is the meaning of life? And there is a correct answer. I'm curious as to how many people know what the correct answer to the meaning of life, this question. What is the meaning of life? What's the correct answer? There's one correct answer. Tony Regime, off the jump, you are correct. 42. 42 is the meaning of life. I'm sure everybody here gets that. Tony Regime and Sandy D both got it correct with 42. That's correct. Sean Michael Beasley says, happiness, you are incorrect. Mrs. Thomas says, Monty Python. I don't think so. What would we bachelors do without Teflon? We'd burn down the house. That's what. That's, it might happen. Just look, here's the thing. Cast iron is great. This is one thing. Monty Python gets an honorable mention. Yeah. 42. Again, yeah, 42. Cast iron is great. Use lower heat. That'll help. Yeah, it's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But I'm sure they were Monty Python because you know what I mean. We'll give you a pass. We'll give you a pass with Monty Python because the intent was there. I did shoot a spot for the guys who make Doom. The office in Richardson here. One of their offices is here in Richardson. The company that makes Doom for their new product, which can't say anything about because I finally anyway. That was really cool. Cast iron and stainless are the way to go. Yep. Hey, Liz. Mrs. Thomas says, I'm sticking with Monty Python. That's fair. Like I said, again, I'm not taking away points, but I did, I know Doom and Duke Nukem are not the same thing. I get it. But that trivia question did come up. I have come here to chew bubblegum. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum. And anybody know where that line comes from? Anybody at all? I always get, when I ask this question, the gamers will give me one answer and it's incorrect. And they want to fight and argue with me. High smoke point oil helps too. Yeah, avocado oil works really well in cast iron. Yeah, Tony Regime, that is incorrect. That line does not come from Duke Nukem 3D. That's the answer gamers give me, and they want to die on that hill, and they're just incorrect. Very few people actually know. Liz says, I'm loving my new ceramic pans. I hear those are good as well, but they still require a fair bit of oil. I'm not sure. I've never used them, so don't take whatever. Yes, Sean Michael Beasley says, Roddy Piper, but what specifically? Roddy Piper what? Come on. Give me the thing. Give me the whole thing. Don't just say Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper was in that film. Yes, Roddy Piper was in that film. What's that film called? And who was Roddy Piper's character? Sean Michael Beasley says, They Live. That's correct. They Live. What was his character's name? What was Roddy Piper's character's name? Now, this is one of those ones where you have to do a little digging, just a very little surface digging. You have to watch the end credits and you get his character's name because his character's name is never spoken in the film. Anybody know? Mrs. Tom says, not Monty Python. That is correct. Mrs. Tom, you are correct. Mr. Andrew says, They Live. Yes, 100%. They Live. It's a great movie. You haven't used any fats or oils in them, says Liz, on your ceramics. Okay, that's cool. I'm curious. I'm curious to check them out for certain. John Nada, Sean Michael Beasley. There you go. Boom. That's correct. John Nada was his name. They called him that because they realized they never gave him a name in the script other than, I can't remember what the script name was. Doesn't really matter. Bacon grease in any cast iron. Bacon grease is good. Yeah, bacon grease. Only problem with bacon grease is that it's very low. Or it's a very low smoke, so it smokes really quickly. Algae oil. I've never even heard of algae oil, so I'm gonna have to take your word for it. I use avocado oil because I'm allergic to olives. And olive oil never used to fuck with me, but it recently has. So aged algae oil just sounds wrong. It just sounds wrong. All right. We are coming down to the last 40 seconds. I just want to say I miss all of you guys, and I'm going to try. I know I keep saying this. I'm going to try and do more. Um, the only thing that's going to keep me from doing more is going to be gigs that come up. So do check me out on Brainy's channel. I'm sorry, Beaver Zero's channel, which would be next Thursday, not this Thursday, maybe this Thursday. I'm not sure. Either this Thursday or the Thursday after. I think we're good. Sean says I need a better hat. No, the Rangers are. I think they're beating the Yankees right now, sir. So excuse you. Maybe not. It's still 0-0. Anyway, whole green beans and bacon grease till beans are brown. I'll track it. Life happens to Sandy. That's correct. Which Scream Queen can use the title Right Honorable? I don't know. That's a good question. You tell me. Anyway, with that being said, I have missed you all, and I will. Beaver and I will be on his channel either this Thursday or next Thursday. I'm not 100% sure which, but we have a good time over there. So make sure you check us out over there, have some fun, do the things, participate in whatever it is you need to participate in when it comes to your, your livelihood. Be very careful with what's going on out there right now. It's kind of interesting time. I love you all. I will see you next time. Cheers.